Let us begin with the last section of the chapter, that is exercises and MCQs. First question, when was the Antyodaya Anna Yojana firstly launched? A. 1998, B. 1990, C. 2000, D. None of the above. This is an extremely factual question and you have to remember such facts. The answer is C. 2000. Antyodaya cards are given to the A. Senior citizens, B. Below poverty line, C. Poorest of the poor, D. None of the above. The answer is, it is given out to the poorest of the poor. For senior citizens, it is the Annapurna Scheme. For the below poverty line, it comes under the Targeted Public Distribution Scheme. Seasonal hunger is prevalent in A. Metro cities, B. Rural areas, C. Urban areas, D. Both rural and urban areas. It is present in both rural and urban areas. In metro cities, there is always some kind of work that is there. So, there is absolutely no kind of seasonal hunger. In rural areas, it is more of agricultural based. So, when agriculture will be on full show only during around 4 to 5 months, which involves sowing to harvesting processes. And the other 7 to 8 months, there is absolutely no work. And when there is no work, there's also no income at that point of time. So people get onto hunger. Even in some urban areas, some areas where the people are employed into construction sectors. So in these construction areas, especially at times when there is a natural calamity or there is kind of rainfall, you cannot really work. Especially in times of monsoon, we cannot undertake any kind of construction activity, and even if we do, it is a kind of risk we are bringing upon ourselves. So that period is when they do not work, and when they don't work, they don't get the income, and hence leads to seasonal hunger. The success of wheat was replicated in A. Rice, B. Bajra, C. Maize, D. Cotton. The answer is A. Rice. So this kind of replication was done during the times of Green Revolution, where HYV seeds were made by the research institutions for wheat and rice. The most devastating famine occurred in Bengal in the year A. 1942, B. 1943, C. 1953, D. 1933. This is a very factual question and you have to remember such years. The answer has to be the most devastating famine occurred in Bengal in the year 1943. Fair price shops sell A. Kerosene, B. Sugar, C. Wheat, D. All of the above. The answer is D. All of the above. Which state is associated with AMUL? A. Maharashtra, B. Gujarat, C. West Bengal, D. Kerala. The answer is AMUL is associated with the one and only state of Gujarat. It is in the sector of milk and milk products. The minimum support price is declared by the government every A 5 years, B 1 year, C 3 years, D 10 years. The answer is, it is declared annually, that is every year. So the MSP is declared by the government every year before the sowing season to provide a kind of motivation or an incentive to the farmers in order to raise the kind of production of that particular crop. Green Revolution of 1960s was associated with A. Use of HYV seeds, B. Afforestation program, C. Nature rejuvenation program, D. None of the above. The answer is, it was associated with the use of HYV seeds, and the second and the third option have no connection with Green Revolution of the 1960s. Revamped Public Distribution System provides benefits to A. Cities, B. Remote and backward areas, C. Self-help groups, and D. Cooperative societies. The answer is, RPDS is very typical to the remote and backward areas. And it has absolutely no kind of connection to the cities or self-help groups or cooperative societies. Annapurna Scheme fulfills the food requirements for A. Senior citizens, B. Children, D. Pregnant ladies, D. Young girls. The answer is, it fulfills the food requirements of senior citizens. All these are very factual questions, and you have to remember the details of such questions. Antyodaya Anna Yojana and Annapurna Scheme are linked with A. PDS, B. Poshan Abhiyan, C. Midday Meal Scheme, and D. None of the above. The answer is A. PDS. So in Poshan Abhiyan, it is a nutritional scheme that is put up by the government of India, and the target groups are like pregnant ladies and lactating mothers and etc. Midday meal scheme is also a nutritional program put up by the government of India to increase the to decrease the dropout rates and increase the enrollment rates of students into schools. So that's also to improve the education as a whole. So the answer to Antyodaya and Anna Yojana plus Annapurna Scheme, they are linked with the public distribution system. In which state more than 90% ration shops are run by the cooperatives? A. Andhra Pradesh, B. Tamil Nadu, C. Bihar, D. Orissa. The answer is B. Tamil Nadu. Again, a very factual question. Main purpose of buffer stock is A. To save food grains from pest attack, B. To stop price fluctuations, C. To meet the crisis of low production, D. Both B and C. The answer is both B and C. That is the main purpose, the main objective of buffer stock is to stop the price fluctuations and to meet the crisis of low production. To save food grains from pest attack is nowhere an object near buffer stock. What does food security mean? A. Availability of food. B. Affordability of food. C. Accessibility of food. D. All of the above. The answer is D. All of the above. Chronic hunger refers to A. Low income. B. Inadequate quality of food. C. Inadequate quantity of food. D. All of the above. So it is D. All of the above, which is chronic hunger refers to A. Low income. It refers to B. Inadequate quality of food, and C. Inadequate quantity of food. In which of the following states do we find the largest number of food insecure people? A. Bihar, Jharkhand and Orissa. B. Bihar, Jharkhand and Gujarat. C. Bihar, MP and Tamil Nadu. D. Bihar, Chhattisgarh and Karnataka. Please take a close look at the states to arrive at the answer. The answer has to be A. Bihar, Jharkhand and Orissa are those states where a large number of food insecure people reside. Who released a special stamp entitled Wheat Revolution in the year July 1968? A. Jawaharlal Nehru. B. Indira Gandhi. C. J.P. Narayan. D. Indira Gandhi. The answer is D. Indira Gandhi. Jawaharlal Nehru was not present at such a year, and J.P. Narayan is nowhere linked to posting a special stamp. FCI stands for Foreign Cooperation with India, Food Corporation of India, Fossils Corporation of India, Forest Corporation of India. The answer is B. Food Corporation of India. The other three options are non-existent and were made for the convenience of formulation of this question. Buffer stock is the stock of food grains procured by the government through A. IFCI, B. FCI, C. IDBI and D. FICCI. The answer is B. FCI. IFCI, IDBI and FICCI are financial banking institutions. Who are the eligible households under NFSA 2013, that is National Food Security Act 2013? A. 75% rural population. B. 50% rural population. C. 75% rural and 50% urban population, and D. 75% urban population. Next, again, this is a completely factual question. You have to remember the numbers. The answer is C. 75% rural and 50% urban population are the eligible households under NFSA 2013. Answer the following questions briefly. How is food security ensured in India? So there are three dimensions to food security, and they are the kind of availability of food, accessibility of food and affordability of food. Availability is checked whether there is enough food for everyone. Accessibility is checked when there is no barrier to get the food. Affordability is checked when every person has the capacity to buy that amount of food, quality food. Why is buffer stock created by the government? So what exactly is buffer stock is defined in this section, right? You are moving the surplus grains from those areas which have a surplus to the areas which are deficit in those grains, and you're distributing that kind of grains to the poorer section of the society. So it helps in resolving the problem of shortage of food during periods of natural calamities. Which states are more food insecure in India? There are many economically backward states with high poverty, and these are those states which are highly food insecure in India. So what are these kind of states? They are Jharkhand, Uttar Pradesh, Orissa, West Bengal, Chhattisgarh, some parts of Madhya Pradesh, Bihar and Maharashtra. Describe how the poverty line is estimated in India.